Hello, I want to welcome Priscilla to the Butterfly Effect, and she is a intuitive, a theta healer, and a conscious parenting coach.
Hi, Crystal.
Welcome. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank
I
you.
would, yeah, I would love, huh?
Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, it's so amazing that we're here today. After we actually met, how long ago was it? It was about a year,
Almost a year.
or
Tony Robbins.
yeah. So that was yeah. And here, I mean, at that point, I never even knew that we would be like reconnecting on this level through our journey of spirituality. I would love for you to share with me what led you to your journey of being connected and doing the work that you do now.
So I was always curious about nature, God, why I'm here on this planet, why things are the way they are as a little kid. But as I grow up and I got married and I had kids, I became very ill. I developed fibromyalgia and joint pain and different kinds of infections and migraines. And I would go from doctor to doctor, and there was no solution. They would just give me painkillers, and or I would try a medicine for a while, but no change, no
Yeah,
change in my health. So it got to be very painful and I became depressed. So one time I was with my best friend and her husband introduced me to the book Seed of the Soul.
hmm
Have you read that one?
I haven't.
I highly recommend it. So when I read it, it brought me back to all the questions that I had from childhood, that how you can connect to your authentic power, which that authentic power is not your looks, it's not your money, it's not your square footage or car or your title.
Yeah,
But basically it's the inner power of you connecting to the source. So that was the beginning of awakening, and then I got interested in spirituality, and over 11 years ago I started that path, and it answered a lot of my questions that I had over the years, especially the reincarnation part.
yeah,
And the more I studied, the more I became thirsty to learn more. So, but I still had the body aches and the pains. And I remember one time I went to get a massage, and
hmm
every inch of my body was hurting so much that the lady couldn't touch me. And I started crying,
yeah,
like, because it was like the end of my rope. And then I don't know what happened. Something overcame me. And at that moment, I decided I didn't care if my body hurts or not. I'm here to serve the Creator. And I would do everything in my power to get to that purpose. So in that massage table, I calmed down and I found a sense of purpose. So later on, and that's, I think that was the beginning of my healing process, having a purpose in my life. And then I found theta healing. And the minute I walked in, I knew I found my passion, my path. And it helped me to clear all of my negative belief systems, my fears from childhood or from past lives. There were so many of it, but as it cleared, I felt better. I felt more alive, more
yeah,
less afraid, more encouraged to do more. And because I saw such a good result in me, I decided that it's time for me to help others. So I dedicated myself and I vowed I will help 26 people for free.
yeah. That's
to be
amazing.
because of my healing. And when I
Yeah.
worked on everyone, they all saw miracles in their lives, and they were so encouraging. Like, Priscilla, you should do this. This is
Yes.
so. That's when I started my practice. And I can't say I've only stuck with theta healing. It's the major part of my healing modality because it works with the mind and meditation and connecting to the creator.
Yeah.
I also study different healing modalities. I'm always reading.
Yeah. I think once you kind of like dabble in it a little bit, it's like for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many ways that we can learn to heal.
Yeah.
And there's, I think there's people in our lives that we'll get connected with that are right to guide us on the journey. Um, I love what you shared. Was there any, like, what were some of the things that people were able to overcome with the 26 healings that you did? Like, did you see anything like,
Theta healing is so broad. It could be used in manifesting for more money. It could be manifesting to have a child. It could be for your healing body pains. It could be overcoming fear. So it's very broad. So
yeah,
the one of the good stories that it really touched my heart was I was friends with this lady, and her husband wasn't working at that time. I think it was 3 years that he was laid off, and he couldn't find a job, and he had completely lost his self confidence and depressed. So I offered to her, I said, "Do you want me to work on your husband?" And she said, "Yes, I would love to. We have tried everything, nothing is working. We
yeah,
have no more money. We're about to lose our house." So I worked with him, and within 2 sessions, we found out the root of the problem, which was his mother. The root of the problem was he was really, because his mom neglected him so much in his childhood, that now he was borrowing money from his mother. And that's how he was getting back at his mom. The
mm-hmm.
we
Oh,
found the pattern, the negative pattern,
yeah,
cleared his negative emotions of being angry, and I made him to forgive his mom. He calmed down, and within a month he found a job.
that's amazing.
Or I had a client who had shoulder pains, and she had gone to chiropractor, acupuncture, physical therapy for a couple of years. Nothing helped her. So when she came to me, I started asking questions because I need to find the pattern.
Yeah,
I have to get to the root of the problem. So I noticed that she mentions the word responsibility a lot. So I found out that her father got sick 2 years ago, about around the same time that her pain started in her shoulder.
mm-hmm.
That she had to move in with her husband to the father's house so she could take care of the father. And I asked her, "So where are your other siblings?" And she said, "Well, they're not the responsible one." So I'm like, okay, there is something here. So I
Yeah,
asked her questions. I gave her a meditation so she would calm down, enter the theta brainwave where you are more connected to the source. And I asked her about childhood, and she started bawling that her mother would give her a lot of responsibilities because as a child she was very she was very responsible and more capable than other siblings. So her mom gave her tremendous amount of responsibilities around the house.
yeah,
And so I noticed that she has a lot of resentment. Even her mother had passed away. She had tremendous resentment towards her. So we did a meditation. We did a forgiveness is one of the biggest healing
I agree.
you can use. It's so powerful. So I helped her to forgive her mom, to understand that that was part of her um, movie to become who she is right now.
Mhm.
Then we did other healing approaches on her, and within 2 sessions, her pain was gone, because when her father got sick, she got triggered that she is responsible again. So all that resentment and negativity came up and
Mhm.
showed up as a shoulder pain in her body. That's why doctors couldn't help her. It was an
Yeah.
emotional pain.
Mhm. That's so important to share with everybody, because I think a lot of people actually are thinking that oh, I have this pain here or here, and like I don't know what it is. Like I must, they can't find the root of the cause, and that's one thing that has amazed me on this journey, is understanding that a lot of stuff is linked to emotional stuff, which like most doctors are not taught how to work to heal that. They're taught to medicate some stuff.
Yes.
You shared a little bit about manifestation. I would love for you to share what you shared with me earlier, and then also maybe some tips on manifestation, or whatever you feel called to share about it.
So for 2020, I wanted to do a vision board. So I did a vision board. Should I show it to the
Yeah,
audience?
sure.
So I did a vision board of all the things I want to do this year. And I want to, as you can see, the most important is powering women, changing the world. But if you see, I put change the world, and I put a picture of a butterfly, and I put butterfly effect, because I know how every tiny thing in the world affects the whole world. And then it's interesting that this summit it's called butterfly effect. I mean, when I looked at my vision board the other day, I almost fell down. Manifested.
It's amazing. I have like the most chills all over my body right now. The power that we actually hold as creators. I mean, that just shows you, the power that we truly have. Most people don't realize that. So I just think that it's amazing that you shared that with me, and that you get to share that with everybody. The power that we can use in vision boards. I don't know. Can you share a little bit about how that might have impacted your life?
Well, what I've learned about manifesting is yes, you have to have a vision board. You have to be clear in what you want and what you want to achieve. Some people have become, unfortunately, numb. They're stuck in their daily routine. Like all they think about is today. And my goal is like to help women to get out of that stuckness,
Yeah.
be able to delete and cancel their negative subconscious beliefs that they're holding them down. So once you clear those negative subconscious beliefs, for example, if it has to do with money, if subconsciously you do not believe you deserve money or you deserve success, that you're not worthy enough, guess what? No matter how much you're looking for a job or a promotion, the universe will not give it to you, because subconsciously, which is the almost 90% of the brain,
Yeah.
the part that we are not aware of, is holding us back. And that energy is so powerful. Also, like for example, if someone wants to get better, if deep down inside they want to be sick because that's the only way they get attention from their husband or their
Yeah.
family, guess what? No matter how many doctors they're going to go to, they're not going to get better until they change that belief system. And the minute that belief system changes, boom, the medication you take, the vitamins you take, it will help you to heal. But the brain is so amazing.
Yes.
What I've learned about manifesting that I'm excited to share with everyone is you have to be in that alignment of that energy. That means you have to delete those negative subconscious beliefs. But at the same time, um, when you desire something, you have to, after wanting it, visioning it, you have to be able to let it go. You have to trust that the universe, if it's meant to be for you, for your higher self, it will come back and bring it to you. That doesn't mean that you're going to go sit somewhere and do nothing and just visioning. No. Um, it's you have clear vision, you have let go of all the negative stuff, but at the same time you're in centered in your superpower, and you know that the divine energy is going to bring it to you. So it's not riding above it or below it, being centered with the mission or whatever you want to manifest.
Yes. I love that. Is there any other tips you might have to share about manifestation that have helped you?
um, I think in my life the biggest thing that has um, touched my life in every way is connecting to the source. And it doesn't matter you're Jewish, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, we all pray to the same source.
Yes.
And if you do not take time to meditate, to go to that silent moment, even if it could be even when you're driving, it doesn't have to be a specific, and really connect and ask and to receive the light, it's very hard then to give back in another area of your life.
Yeah.
So in order to manifest, we have to have that connection.
Yeah. A lot of people in our world don't have any connection to spirit. I mean, we all are a part of it, but like they're knowing, everybody is in different spaces, but I feel a lot of people are disconnected and unaware of what power they truly harness in the source energy.
Yeah.
Um,
I have to say, there are a lot of people who manifest who do not believe in the divine energy.
yeah,
And they do get the things they want. But the question is, do they have fulfillment keeping that success in their life? Like, if they were looking for a partner and they manifested without having the divine source of energy being connected to it, after they get married, do they have gratitude? Do they have fulfillment? And those are the things that comes from connection to the creator.
yeah, yeah. I believe that. I have experienced, just I wasn't in a space before where I was connect. I always wanted that relationship, but it didn't click for me until I started to understand energy, and everything, a whole new world opened up for me, and I was like, people have to know about this. Like, there's so many people who were like me, and so that's why I'm creating this, because I just know that there's so many people out there don't that aren't aware that it's not really about stuff really too much we need to bring into our lives to heal. It's about like letting go of a lot of stuff, and it's we have the power to heal. So yeah, one thing that you shared about that I personally know a lot of people struggle with, and I would love for you to share a little bit more about, is fibromyalgia. um, I don't know, is there anything that you can share about it for the women or for whoever is struggling with fibromyalgia?
Yes. Um, I have to say, I will share my story, but every individual has their own set of negative beliefs, so it will be different. But
Yeah.
in general, I've noticed in myself and the clients that come to me, most women have negative patterns that come from their childhood, and it could be the parents intentionally or have affected the child. But for me personally, it was a lot of fears that I think it came with me from previous lives, because I did a lot of healing on myself for previous lifetimes. And once I was able to delete those fears, like I had a fear of being noticed, getting any type of attention. That was one of my biggest fears. So me being here right now, it's a big deal.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I can totally relate to that.
Another one was I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel worthy of healing, even though consciously I was going from doctor to doctor. Subconsciously, I didn't feel like I deserve it.
Hmm.
So there were a lot of lacks that I had to overcome.
Yeah. Is there, so what was your journey of healing from fibromyalgia, and where are you at now, like with fibromyalgia?
I can say that I'm 80% better. So it's a huge, huge difference for me. My
Yeah.
migraine has gone away, my joint pain has gone away, and my muscle pain is a lot better.
Hmm.
And um, and that has brought like a whole new world to me, that because I was stuck at home being sick, and I didn't want anybody to know about it. I was
Yeah.
so shy that I didn't want anybody to know. I never shared with anyone about my sickness, my pain. And that's why I'm passionate now to the things that I've learned to share with other moms and other women who might be going through the same thing like me, and to have support. It's so important. I didn't know to talk to, and I didn't know who to talk to. There was nobody who could guide me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for being here and like sharing your story, because for me, like I relate to a lot of that, and it's challenging to be in that space, and what you're doing now, like literally right now being here, even though I know it's a little challenging.
It is.
Yeah, it gets to impact lives. Like you get to share that, because the stuff that you've overcame is powerful. And there's a lot of women, which I know you want to impact out there, that are going to maybe shift their life because they heard your story. So I just want to thank you for like facing your fears, because I know it's not easy.
Thank you. Yeah, this has, because it changed my life.
Yeah,
I saw how it also impacts the clients' lives, and I saw how important childhood in general is. That's why I also studied conscious parenting, and now I'm so excited to share that information with moms,
yeah,
bring the healing and the conscious parenting, and teach parents the things that I didn't know when my kids were growing up. That would be powerful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you want to share about conscious parenting? Because I know your heart is passionate about it. And I'm like, is there anything that you want to share for parents out there? Just anything on your heart.
Well, conscious parenting by Dr. Shafali is basically the emphasis is on the parent and not on the child, because in the traditional parenting method, um, all the eyes are on the child's behavior. But in this method, we look at the parent's wounds. Why is the child's behavior triggering them so much? So every time that trigger comes up, there is a chance for the parent to heal themselves.
Yeah,
what? When they heal themselves, they help their child 10 times more than if they would have told the child, do this, don't do that, or control.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful.
Yeah, I think that's huge because a lot of people are looking outside themselves to fix things when it starts inside of us.
Yeah.
Like a lot of stuff that is in our life is typically a lot of reflections and things that we need to work through.
Definitely.
Um, is there any tips or anything that you could share with our audience that they could start implementing into their life right now?
Well, first of all, if there are parents and they want to see a change in their children, more than anything, because you need tools and you need guidance, but if you don't have that, you can always start by connecting to your child more. The more you connect with your child, then later on, if you need to tell them to do this or to do that, then they will take it from you much more stronger. They will receive it because there is a point of connection between the parent and the child. But when there is no connection and it's only a do this, don't do that, get up at this time, go to bed at this time, eat this, don't eat that, then the child doesn't want to listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to receive anything from the parent because
Yeah.
there is a disconnection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can relate to that. I mean, I know I've struggled with my weight. I've shared that with you and we've connected a little bit on that, but that definitely was challenging, and I didn't realize it until I'm at the place I am now, why I was struggling so much, through my process of my journey, going back and forth with my weight and just gaining and gaining. But I think it's really a matter of trying to understand your child, and most parents don't have the right tools because they're not aware of they're just not aware,
Yeah,
and it's not their fault, but
true. And I think one of the biggest challenges is parents do parenting based on the society's norms.
yes,
Every child has to fit in the same dogma of doing certain things. They have to have straight A's, or they have to be in best sports, or they have to look a certain way. And that's not true. Every child has its own individuality. And when
yeah,
we put them in that box of the social norms, the child can't show their creativity, their inner personal self can't come out.
yeah,
How the child becomes sad and depressed because they can't be who they are. They can't be authentic. They have to fit in the box of society.
mm-hmm.
And that's really difficult.
Yeah, definitely,
or they
yeah,
or they would if sometimes they would follow through, but later on in their lives, they one day they wake up and like, who am I?
yeah. Well, that's my story. I don't know who I was.
And then they have to address those issues then. So
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people out there can get from your story that your past doesn't necessarily define you, and at any moment we can heal and change our lives and support other people in changing their lives too.
and also that every experience in our life is there is a reason for it. So all that if someone was suffering or is suffering right now, there is a lesson.
Yes.
And if we can put our emphasis on the lesson and not the pain, then it's easier to move forward.
Yes, I love that. I think that's important for people to hear. Instead of like judging it, just accept it, allow it, and you get to move through it.
Yes.
Is there anything that you feel like you'd like to share, whether it be about your 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 life, or just anything else you feel called to share?
From my own personal life, I think the most important thing in my life was not to give up. If you have pain, if you're suffering, don't give up. You have to go through the stage of acceptance, like the way I went when I was on the massage table.
Yeah.
Accepted my situation, and I dedicate myself to serve a purpose for the Creator. Yes, it's important to go through that acceptance, and then at the same time to know that all those pain has created the true self of you now at this moment. If those challenges weren't there, then you wouldn't have surfaced. So in that case, you can't give up. You have only the rest of your life to look forward, even if it's challenging.
Yeah. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Priscilla, for sharing all of your heart and your story. I just appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, and I appreciate our audience, and I hope that my story can inspire them um, to find that connection with the source, because that's where all the healing.
Yeah. And then you had a free gift that you wanted to offer our audience.
Yes, I would like to offer 20% discount per session for those of the people who are signing up through the summit. So there would be a link for that.
Okay, awesome. Well, any last words, Priscilla?
I think we covered everything. Just
Yes,
I'm filled with gratitude that I was able to share my story, and I hope it touches people's lives.
me too. I'm filled with gratitude that I got this chance to connect with you and just connect with you in general, because I feel your power and your presence, and I'm just so grateful and thankful that I get to experience that with you.
Yeah, and I'm grateful to be part of your butterfly effect
I
somehow.
know! I still can't believe you just showed me that. That's beautiful. So thank you all again for being here, and I hope you enjoyed hearing Priscilla's powerful story and it affects your life in a positive way, and get connected with her because she can support you on your journey. Thank you.